Ladies and gentlemen, I think we're live. Hello? Yeah. I think we're live in high dynamic range at 4K, 60 frames per second. I think it's working. 9.67 seconds of latency on a 4K 60 HDR stream, not bad. That's not bad indeed. I know some people who've tested 4K streaming on YouTube and get like 30 seconds, so this is pretty crazy. We need HLS stream with AV1 encoder rather than HEVC. Well, we don't need HLS for that, but we do need AV1 HDR encoders for OBS. I don't know why it's not enabled with this beta. So if you are unaware of what's going on, I'll go ahead and pull it up so that we can talk about it, show it, whatever. There's a new OBS beta. They shadow dropped it in the middle of the night, I guess in the wee early hours of Friday morning, and I was not at all prepared for it. I do have a video in the works for Monday, which is what we're working on here. I was going to do it Friday. Some stuff came up, but that is what we have going. And so there's a new OBS beta. It is OBS version 30.1, and it enables a few things. Most notably is HDR over RTMPS. This was previously disabled with the RTMP, RTMP Plus, whatever they want to call it these days, update from last year when they enabled HEVC and AV1 over the standard protocol. You could do HDR and HEVC streaming, as I covered way back in like 2020 on YouTube, but you needed the HLS protocol, which is fine, and in some cases a lot lower latency. But for some people, some internet connections, it has a lot of issues with stability, with only being able to see certain, what do I want to call it? Certain bit rates not working. Like there's just some issues with HLS on certain internet connections. And so being able to do it over standard RTMP is desirable. And so we finally get that with HEVC. As Rodney just said, YouTube is not ready to ingest AV1 and HDR in real time probably just yet. So we do not have that available, but that's fine. HEVC is a codec that all graphics cards that are being streamed with in 2024 can handle. So we are talking, you know, all the way back to the RX 580, all the way back to the GTX 10 series and kind of the 9 series. Like everyone can stream HEVC. So that's pretty good. Sorry, my cat's down here harassing me and scratching my butt if I don't pet her, so that's where my other hand is at down here. There's a new image slideshow source, which is pretty freaking sick. I'll cover that a little bit in the video. You can now capture window or game audio directly on the source, which is nice. There's a new pre-multiplied alpha option for game capture, which is very useful for like VTuber apps, I'm assuming. GPU rescaling when you're streaming and recording is huge, and it fixes the issue of trying to rescale your output with AV1. I'll explain what all that means in the video as well. And AV1 for VA API if you're on Linux. Couple little things just kind of added in here. But the big thing that I needed to stream in order to test is, you know, HDR streaming. And so that is what we are doing here. I am having a very hard time juggling so many OBS betas because I have the Twitch Enhanced Broadcasting beta, which is separate from this beta, and I have this beta. And so juggling all the portable instances and keeping my scene collection in sync across all of them and my plugins and all that is an absolute nightmare, which is why I was like 10 minutes late starting the stream, because I was trying to, I realized I hadn't copied everything over to this instance. So it's been a lot, but we're set up. I have the Elgato Facecam Pro as my camera, which is pulling in Rec2100 PQ. I don't think the camera, like, actually supports HDR. Like, I don't think it has real HDR image. Like, just devices got the ability to output Rec2100 and like the UVC driver in an OBS update forever ago. I don't think the webcam itself is generating an HDR image, but by putting everything into an HDR canvas, it's kind of getting tone mapped up. So it doesn't look, perhaps everything, like my graphics and everything don't look quite as like contrasty as they probably did in SDR, but overall it actually looks pretty good. I'm surprised. Windows 11 especially has been putting in a lot of work to make SDR look good when you're playing in HDR. Previously, and in earlier versions of Windows 10, like whenever I first started experimenting with HDR, your Windows UI would be all gray and washed out and whatever. And now, it actually looks pretty good. So, I am pretty stoked with how everything is looking, even when you have SDR elements. Does YouTube HDR tone map to SDR displays where it's necessary? Yes. They transcode both copies at the same time. So if anything, the SDR copy might have higher latency. I wonder how many HEVC encoders someone can use with the 3070 with the latest driver updates. It would just be down to your settings and your resolution, like up to 8. But it comes completely down to settings. Can you drop testing, stream, or video links? I mean, I can pull up some HDR videos if you want me to see. Someone asked what chat plugin I use. This is just the Stream Elements chat. The specific chat version I was using is called Checker Chat. I don't have, like, there's no, my Nerd or Die layout and stuff doesn't have a YouTube version of the chat, so I've got to figure out how to make that. It seems like working with YouTube chat is harder to do, so it's, there's less graphics and stuff available for it. Got 3 questions. How is pass-through latency of the HDR stream? What? Number 2, on USB capture card will pass-through work when PC switched off, as long as your motherboard supplies power over USB. Most of them do. Some of them have options for it in the BIOS. I can't really tell you what yours will do, but broadly speaking, yes. PCIe ones will not. Will 4K 60 FPS streams coming? Do you see 1080p or 1440p 120 FPS coming soon? Theoretically, but like Twitch has clearly deprioritized that. Whereas when they first started talking about AV1 and all this stuff, it was very much a let's get 1440p 120 going and all this stuff. And now they are very focused on rebuilding the standard 60 FPS pipeline. So it is absolutely going to be possible once we get the newer codecs. But right now, Just want to point out that I'm watching the stream in HDR on my iPhone despite YouTube stating otherwise. I don't know why YouTube would state otherwise. It tells you that it's playing in HDR, but okay. YouTube recommends HLG for HDR streaming. See any differences between PQ and HLG? I don't know. Every time I try to look into it, it is a train wreck to like try to figure out the differences and whatever. So, frankly, I don't actually know. There have been some situations where certain capture cards or something don't look as good in HLG versus PQ and vice versa, but it is a mess. I have had the best results with PQ. It looks like more consistently HDR-y to me, whereas HLG is, I mean, HLG stands for hybrid log gamma, and like it's designed for log. So like a Panasonic GH5 camera recording in HDR in log is HLG. It's meant to be more flat. This is not going to be technically accurate, but yeah, the color never looks right to me when I try to bring in capture cards or stream in HLG. And in fact, I can probably toggle my webcam right now, because again, I don't think the Facecam Pro produces a true HDR image, but it does expose through the UVC driver those options. And so if I pull it up here, where is it? Facecam Pro. I'm in PQ right now. If I pull up HLG, oh, it actually doesn't look any different, which stands to reason we are just not getting any real HDR out of it, which is fine. The devices I have tested, it doesn't look super great. Turn HDR on my monitor, open YouTube and Chrome, set HDR quality level. What do you mean you set it to an HDR quality? Still getting an SDR. Like it doesn't show it on the badge? Because it does when I open the stream. Even in Edge, which is surprising. HLG colors are always washed out. Yeah, I feel the same way. So on the stream it says HDR and you're saying you're not broadcasting in HDR. I mean, everything is getting up converted to HDR. I'm telling you that the webcam in this specific scenario doesn't support it. We're going to load up some games that are running in HDR and stuff because everything is set up. I am gaming on the LG CX in 4K 120 HDR. Yeah, I mean, if YouTube shows HDR on the badge, it's HDR. We're going to pull up Battlefield 2042 first. Looks like it's still tone mapping. Probably because this is all SDR sources. Like, that's That was the whole thing I was trying to explain. So you can stream HDR from SDR monitor. I mean, you can enable the stream. It won't look like HDR or really have any higher dynamic range. Sure, you can turn it on. You can lie to people. All right, I'm going to start with Battlefield. And then we will probably try some God of War, although I don't have an active save on this rig or anything, so we won't make it too far. But I do have an Xbox controller hooked up to play God of War because I like doing cursed combinations. And maybe we'll throw on some Halo Infinite too. Looks way better in Safari compared to Vivaldi, which is Chrome-based. Well, that's really surprising. I would not expect that. Someone asked about my encoder presets and stuff earlier. It doesn't really matter, but I am doing NVENC, HEVC, 45 megabits per second, keyframe interval 2, P3 preset, high quality tuning, 2-pass quarter res multipass, and main 10 profile with Psycho and look ahead unchecked. I think browser docs still don't work though. I mean, that's where my chat's coming from. It's all right. Colors don't seem completely accurate, but like it's fine. Yeah, I mean these are all. I don't have HDR images for my Twitch layout. Like this is my normal Stream Elements layout. So like these are SDR sources that you're seeing now. So if it doesn't look HDR, that's because we're technically not sending any HDR content yet. That's what the game's for. I just wanted to get everything set up and make sure the actual stream from OBS is working before we get there. All right, I apparently need to 2FA EA real quick, because of course I do. I use CQP 12 on OBS, not to stream into YouTube, you probably don't. That bitrate would go way too high. What's up, Liam? And my fave tech, happy Saturday. All right, let's see here. We're gonna launch a game and get some real HDR action going. All right, Strix. It sounds like you're just interested in self-promoting, buddy. So I think it's time to not. Just to be clear, this is your warning. RTMP HDR is a big deal. IMO, me too. If you were to capture gameplay footage in HDR, do you need to do any more work on YouTube to make things look good for people with HDR and SDR streams? Nothing you really can do. You just have to trust that YouTube's going to tone map it correctly, which, if Linus Tech Tips' experience is anything to go by, they don't always. Although I'm sure it's improved in the past year or so since they've talked about it, but you can't really do anything. You're streaming in P3 right now? Yeah. Because 4K 60 on anything in HDR on anything slower would be a little difficult. I don't care about my save file for a multiplayer game, EA. I don't care if it's corrupt. Just log me into the damn game. If you're gonna make me play a game as a service, I don't care about a save file anymore. You forced this on me, EA. Damn it, now the game froze. Okay. Great. Cool, my mouse cursor is just gone. Hello, mouse. There it is. It was on the prompter. That's not EA's fault. Alright, kill process. Maybe we don't start with Battlefield. I wanted an easy, like, I don't gotta hear a bunch of dialogue option real quick. May I ask why not P6 or something like that? Because slower presets are harder to encode, and we're trying to game at the same time, and at a high bitrate it's not going to look any different. All right, look, visually lossless is about CQP 14. Doing CQP 12 to YouTube when they have a soft cap of 50 megabits per second at anything above 1440p is going to get way above the supported bit rates and is completely wasteful. I would highly recommend not doing that. On top of the fact that CBR is generally required for streaming for stability's sake. Has nothing to do with you having a second best video card on the market. That has nothing to do with the equation. Okay, Battlefield is just not going to work because EA is a horrible publisher. And it's just going to keep telling me my save is corrupt when I do not give a flying rat's ass about a save file for Battlefield. So maybe we start with Halo. What monitor are you using? We are testing on an LG CX. In theory, you could push P7 with split encoding. Well, yeah, it's not supported. Stop telling me to try things not supported, buddy. You know better. It's not supported. I can't do it. I could also stream AV one day at Twitch if it was supported. You can't do HDR with a RTMP. For HDR, you have to use HLS. Except for the OBS beta we're testing, where it's now enabled. That's what this whole stream is for. OBS 30.1 beta. We're testing it. You can do it now with the beta. Like the title says. I think the chat overlay froze. It's a few messages behind. Oh no, it really froze. What happened there? Okay, Battlefield is not going to work, and I have given up on it. EA, you suck. Fix your crap. I guess I will refresh my... Oh, there we go. Refresh chat widget. All right, we're going to try Halo instead. What nominal peak level are you using? The defaults, so 1,000 nits, 300 nits for SDR. Yeah, YouTube will absolutely kick you offline if you go past the bitrate. Alright, we got a game going. I'm going to set up the scene here. Can't use Stream Deck because we're on a beta version, so yay. Turn off the display capture. Turn on the window capture. We're going to be in Rec2100. Okay, so here's the sRGB, which is the default if you're in HDR or SDR, and then you have to change the color space to Rec2100 and you get HDR. All right. Let's do this. Oh, I need to add my alert stack scene just so I don't leave anyone out. All right. Roughly this looks like it does on my LG CX. OBS will let you know when to upgrade to a new version once the full version is out. Yes. What's up, Brock? All right. Video. 4K, 120 Ultra. Ray tracing on low. Everything else is fine. All right. That's fine. Multiplayer. Actually, we should have probably done that screen calibration. Can we pull that back up? Settings, video, probably not. It comes up like at random. Oh, R, screen calibration, hell yeah. All right. This is a horror, I just want to say, by the way, of all the HDR screen calibrations that I have seen, this is probably the worst. Like the PS5 menus at least give you like a black and a white thing to compare. What is this supposed to tell me? Like, what am I supposed to base this on? And also the setting is just like a mid-tone contrast setting. Like 50 looked fine. That looks kind of washed out, but not in an HDR way, just a contrast, like saturation kind of way. And 100 just looks like they put a high pass filter on it to like sharpen the smaller details or something. If you want to learn about the presets, glitch.mov/OBS, check out my OBS course. This looks damn good on an OLED TV. That's what I like to hear. Brightness. Ah! Like, I'm given no real frame of reference for how it's supposed to look, and instead I'm just expected to trust my eyes and make it how I want to look. Which, while in general is okay, I guess, most people don't know what they want. So I'm going to set it there because it looked good to me. It might not look good to you. And that is another annoying part about HDR, is if you're trying to capture it with one of the newfangled capture cards, to get the best results, you have to calibrate your HDR based on the results in your capture card, not how it looks best on your TV. which means you get the worst experience. HDR is a mess. I have said it for years. I will continue to say it. My webcam crop over here is very awkward. I want to fix that. Like, HDR has gotten really good on the consumer side of just enjoying it. But in terms of trying to capture or produce it, it is absolute hell. We're going to make our webcam look a little bit nicer here as well. Oh, I lied. I forgot the color correction filter in OBS does not work in HDR. That is hilarious. Yeah, I can't do it. I was going to bump up the contrast of my webcam. I can't do that. We can do pixel art. Hey guys, it's me, the Pixel Man. Alright, never mind. I was gonna bump the contrast, make it look a little better. That's fine. Alright, we'll hop into this Halo 3 refueled for a minute. You have 50 HDRs, of course. HDR on PC is a mess. It's okay on TV and console. Honestly, on PC overall, it's not a big mess anymore. Like, Windows 11, auto HDR for games, and then the smart HDR for the UI. Like, I leave everything in HDR now, and that was not the case not very long ago. Like, it's hard for me. I only turn off HDR if I'm, like, editing a photo or a video in SDR, because editing HDR is still a nightmare. All right, let's see how this game looks. I love my Spartan, especially in HDR. You're using a Lewitt. Yeah, this is the LCT 1040. Cheapest monitor that can do proper HDR is 280. All right, here we go. Hopefully render lag holds up. I tried a sample unlisted stream yesterday on my 3090, and at P5 or 6 it was having a lot of trouble, which is why I dropped it to P3 for this. Even though I'm on a 4080 now, you just never know. Oh yeah, we got that contrast going. Look at my guy with the glowy bits. I got some crazy screen tearing. Halo always gives me screen tearing. Damn it. Damn it. Both sides. What are the spawns, dude? Slapped you up on my HD TV and the game looks very crisp. That's what I like to hear. No game sound. I can fix that. My bad. There you go. And this is not a very good looking map anyway, so. Damn it. Is this on a single PC setup? Yes. 12900K and RTX 4080. Ah, so close. Mine. Really? Balls. Dang. I'm great on iPhone. I'm using HEVC, NVENC HEVC. 45 megabits per second. P3 preset. Main 10 profile. High quality tuning. Single or double 2-pass quarter res. Damn it. Darn it. Might need to switch to YouTube. YouTube is the way to go if you want the best quality streams for now. You cannot get 10-bit 422 off a camera onto a capture card. You have to pick. Do you want 422 or do you want 10-bit? You do not get both. No capture card supports that. OBS itself does not support 10-bit 422 as an output format. Okay. Why not AV1? Because AV1 is not supported for HDR at this time. YouTube is not ready for that. That is a lot to process at once. Blacks are also crushed to me. It could be the tone mapping. It could be the way I calibrated HDR in Halo here because their calibration. Why? He had no shields. Because the Halo calibration is just kind of ridiculous. Still no game sound on my end? Does anyone else hear the game? It's definitely on, but I can turn it up if I need to. That's what happens when I have a very rushed last-minute setup just for a special OBS beta. Damn it. I was doing so well. AV1 isn't very good at high bit rates. Well, that's not true. This is RTMPS, as the title literally says. Or at least I think it says. It's RTMPS. OBS 30.1 beta supports it. I got stuck. Oh, I didn't get stuck. Why am I doing so bad now? I was doing so good. I'm just reading chat. I'll turn it up a tiny bit more. You can record in AV1 HDR. YouTube just doesn't support it for streaming right now. And I'm testing the new beta for streaming, which only supports AV1. Or, only supports HEVC. Alright, we can still win this. Just kidding. Bit rate seems real good. Very little blocking. Grass looks green at high speed. That is the joys of high bitrate 4K. 4K on YouTube is really, really good. 1080p on YouTube is absolute garbage. I will get that kill. I'm greedy. The game is incredibly quiet. Alright, we'll crank it up. Actually, I feel like my slider for game audio is not actually... Like, the decibel value is not changing. That's very bizarre. HEVC is pretty good compared to AV1. On the GPU encoders, they are very close at the moment. Because we only have first generation, you know. This is the first try. Takes a few gens to really improve it. Dang! That was a good shot. Oh, really? I was trying to hijack. There we go. No kill on that? Okay. Alright, we're gonna lose. It's my bad. I did so well at the start and then started focusing on chat. That's fine. That's what we're here for. Alright, so one person reported the blacks look crushed. Anybody else feel like the blacks look crushed, or does it look good? So you're encoding the game on GPU, how would you get HDR from your camera source then? I mean, through a capture card. You just have to be 10-bit 420 taking it in, which is fine. Does choice of preset come down to trial and error? Yeah, mostly performance. Like, leave it on default and do some tests, and if it runs fine, it runs fine. If it doesn't, start kicking it back. Do you worry if a lot of folks... Oh god, chat's scrolling quick. Do you worry if a lot of folks switch to 4K streaming on YouTube, they'd restrict it feature to premium? Nope. Doesn't ARC support 422 10-bit on HEVC? Sure, but capture cards and OBS itself does not. HDR is insanely good. I have to close my eyes every time you die because it gets so bright. That's hilarious. Actually, we'll play the new map. I don't like it very much, but is there a way to get output from OBS with your settings and transcode to H.264 720p 60 FPS with SDR tone map to Twitch? Yes, you would just have to use a second instance of OBS, which would use more resources on your graphics card, and virtual camera it from OBS 1 to OBS 2. I don't know how virtual camera works in HDR, though, so I haven't tested this, but that would be the only way at the moment. Lex do look a bit funky. All right, I will recalibrate a little bit here. Settings, video, calibration. We'll turn up brightness a tiny bit. Turn down HDR. I don't know what the hell HDR is supposed to mean in a slider, but hey, there we go. Maybe that'll look better. There's this weird patch. I don't know if you can see that where my cursor is. That's just on my screen. That's not a stream issue. I don't know what's happening there. Yes, NVENC HEVC to encode. I'm pretty sure that's in the title. Are 420 capture cards even that common? 420? 420 is the default. Plenty of capture cards support 422, but not at 10-bit. That's just not a format that exists in the drivers. Also tested virtual camera in HDR, but my guess to how well it works is it doesn't. Great. Heard about the bug in latest OBS sources? Yes, it crashes. There's a few bugs. I feel like my field of view is really low. You didn't die? Yeah, my field of view got reset. What? Yeah, 87. How did that happen? It was not that in the first match. That was super weird. That's a little better. That was bizarre. Damn it! FOV lower than 100 is unplayable. I mean, I generally play it cranking up. I mean, if by a cheap capture card you're referring to the budget knockoff ones, then no, those will not do it. Most standard gaming capture cards these days can do some form of HDR and some resolution. For a full 4K 60 FPS HDR capture, no. That's going to be the higher end 4K 60 Pro, 4K Pro, Live Gamer 4K kind of capture card. But there's not, like, you don't need some unique fancy kind. Oh, I was going for it. I don't think this is AV1. Yeah, this is HEVC. The title says it. It's in the title. AV1 is not supported for HDR right now. HEVC does look crisp, though, so that's fine. It does still look crisp. It's just not in it AV1, and that's okay. Wow, I missed my melee. As the hype man for AV1, not everything needs to be AV1. Camlink can't do it. No, I don't think the Camlink supports a P010 format. I don't think so. Nope. Trying to get greedy with my no scopes. Seems the HDR slider in this 50 is set to 1030 nits. Why is that possibly how they configure? What the hell, man? So then what's the brightness? Damn it. They're gonna capture that. Damn. AV1 can record P010. Yes, it can record it. It is not supported on YouTube for live streaming. They only just turned on HEVC for this protocol. AV1 still needs some time in the oven. It is a lot more intense for their servers to process in real time for streaming and all that. It is. Do not underestimate how hard it is to live stream AV1 on the server side. Like, they are not ready. Whoa, I had a frame rate drop there. That was chunky. That is my grenade. Son of a... That sucked. Oh, I just left that. I thought it was done. $180! Thank you, dear gamer. H266 win. I mean, that exists. I've been testing it every once in a while. It's a... I don't know. Yeah, I'm getting some frame drops. It's not in the stream, it's just in my game. Oh, I hit that. I hit that. Balls. Hit that! This map very much reminds me of the, like, double corridor map from Halo 1. I forgot what it was called. Why is my game chugging all of a sudden? Like, it's chugging hard. Settings, video. I guess we'll just drop it down to high for now. I'm on a 4080, man. Yeah, that feels a lot better. Minus the audio slider glitch. Is that what I was encountering? Is that a thing? I hadn't seen anyone talk about such a thing yet. Longest. Yeah, longest. It was fun in bursts. My aim is absolute dog shit. The long shooter, really? That's what they're gonna call it? Ah. That's why they were all focused at that point. Woohoo! Got two of those no-scopes! Twitch doesn't support 4K 60 HDR or any HDR. Correct? Uh-oh. Yeah, I think I might... I don't know. The reason I have Opus as an audio in the MP4 container, because that's what YouTube uses for all audio. Except like super low res stuff. We're using upward compression for the game audio right now. I have no audio filters. This was a last minute, oh crap, I have to re-import all my scenes into this completely separate OBS beta to stream kind of scenario. I don't even have processing on my mic right now. Alright, we will try God of War. I have not launched it on this computer, so I'm expecting complete disaster. Alright, God of War. But it should look great in HDR, assuming it works. HDR slider just adjusts peak brightness. Well, that's weird. Why did it launch on my other monitor? What? Why would you do this? I hate games that just pick a random ass monitor to launch on. There is a primary display function in OBS's desktop manager for a reason. By the way, if you're hearing about all this stuff, oh, now it's on my Elgato prompter. That's how we're going to play God of War on my Elgato prompter. There we go. All right. Borderless, main screen, FPS limit 120, that's fine. Motion blur, film grain, I don't care about any of that. DLSS, we can do that. Quality, render scale off, advanced, reflex low latency, sure. All right, so it should just be in HDR because we're in HDR. Graphics, original, high, ultra. We'll do high? Sure. Oh, wait. Page file. It's mad about my page file? I've never seen a game report that. That's amazing. All right, I'll switch to the scene. I think we're good. I have controller turned off. Darn it. Is it gonna read it? Yeah, okay. Thank you, Alex. This is a single PC setup. It's just RTX 4080. Wow, that looks really bad. What? That's not what it looks like on my screen at all. What? That is so punchy. If I do sRGB, it looks actually closer to my to my screen. That doesn't make any sense. Why did Halo need Rec2100 and God of War looks like Overload? What? Does that mean the game's not actually in HDR? My monitor or my TV's getting HDR. The game doesn't have an HDR setting. It just launches. Most of them don't these days. It just launches in HDR if your display's in HDR. Maybe I'll do full screen and see if that changes it. Or maybe I need to relaunch it since it launched on the wrong... Oh, there is no full screen because DirectX 12 has decided that full screen is not a real thing anymore. As you said, HDR content creation is a bit of a mess. Huh. I mean, the other monitor it launched on was in HDR, but I still think we need to relaunch it. Just in case. Peaks around 4,000 nits, doesn't use the Windows calibration. Well, that's interesting. It should still... Like, as far as I understand, if it was rendering in HDR, the filter, like the capture would have not looked that way when it was set to capture in HDR. Okay, this is looking better. The capture might start looking worse because I think I left it on sRGB. Blame the prompter. When in doubt, blame the prompter. Okay, how is this looking? Because it was looking pretty flat before. That looks a little more colorful on... Oh, no, it looks about the same. What happens if I set it back to... Nope, that just looks overbaked. Well, damn, I was hoping God of War would be a good demo, because it's beautiful in HDR. And this is just SDR. The monitor I'm playing on is my primary monitor, and all of my monitors except the Elgato prompter are set to HDR. Well, that sucks. I was hoping to demo this, but this is not... Like, this just isn't running in HDR. Like, I bet if I turn on Shadow Play... Yeah, Shadow Play looks like it's in HDR. HDR settings should be under screen calibration. Is there even a... I did not see a screen calibration. Oh, there it is. Enable HDR. Oh, thank you. Everyone kept saying the game doesn't have it, so I wasn't looking for it. Thank you. Jesus. All right, now it looks washed out with sRGB. There we go. There we go. I've literally never played it on PC. I've only played it on PS4 Pro. All right. Controller. There we go. New game. We're just gonna say give me a story so we can just experience crap. Because this isn't gonna be my save. Alright. Now it's looking a little bit better. Yeah, cry at the tree. Then we gotta fight Thor. Come on. Them meaty fingers. I always love... I'm not dunking on the game at all. I always love when a game is so visually impressive, certain little things stand out. Like, Kratos overall looks amazing. Most of the background looks amazing. His fingers look absolutely horrible. But you can't model all of those teeny tiny details all of the time. And we are only running on high, just like, but, you know. This happens with every game. Oh, we don't start out fighting Thor. I forgot who we start out fighting. It's not Thor. Thor's in the second one. I forgot his name. I've not played much of the remake. I'm more of a classic God of War fan. I liked the hacky slashy Devil May Cry style gameplay, not the slow R1, R2 gameplay. Can't even skip this. Baldur, yeah. And like this game is like 6 years old now. Which the games that came out, the games that were 6 years old when this game came out look absolutely horrible by comparison to when this game came out, versus this game holds up pretty well to games that came out now 6 years later. So BBQ, are you watching in SDR or HDR? Use Windows Auto HDR? I do. I see no reason not to. It is awesome in Windows 11. Someone had 9 seconds of latency in the HDR stream, which was pretty rad. Oh yeah, this looks beautiful. I hope it looked good on the stream.
Still want me to tie it to the boat?
MCC does not support HDR, just SDR with Auto HDR. I mean, yeah, it looks great in Auto HDR, though. But yeah, we can try that real quick. Boy.
That is enough.
Like, generally speaking, a game engine doesn't need to change too much of anything for HDR to work, which is why Auto HDR is pretty rad. Do I need Windows 11 for HDR? No, but the experience is a lot better on Windows 11 than 10.
Feels different.
Everything is different, boy. Try not to dwell on it.
Yes, sir.
Wow, that's bright. Ah, okay. That weird, like, brightness shift they did going under the forest kind of hurt my eyes. Okay. The ground is a little too sharp and crisp. That might be the DLSS. That looks kind of bad. There's like too many fine details. It looks like an old texture. Yeah, I mean, I considered HDR to not even be usable on PC with Windows 10, but it looks great on Windows 11. There's so many little fixes to it. Thank you, Anirban. I said that horribly, and I apologize.
The last.
That was the last. Game froze. Everything froze. Whoa, okay. Hello, everything caught up. That was weird.
There do I see my mother. Oh, there.
RE8 was that way. Probably. Resident Evil's... Oh god, the blur effect is horrible. That little halo of the blur? Ugh.
Call to me.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of games are just too dark sometimes. Yeah, that blur, the blur halo around the candles is weird.
Where do they call?
What is the depth of field in this? Why are two of his fingers blurred out?
Where do they call?
I hate bad depth of field effects. Like, I love them when they're done right. When they're bad, I hate them.
She's ready.
That's 2 wives you couldn't keep, Kratos. 2 wives. At least you didn't
Find your way.
get rid of this kid.
You are free.
This background music playing is a just in case. Nope. I just hadn't planned on playing a music heavy game, so. What would the just in case be here? This Viking times they were still figuring out depth of field. Virtually all live streams get transcoded to VP9 these days. That's normal.
I'm sorry.
Squeeze. This knife. It was hers. Now it is yours. She taught you to hunt.
She knew.
Show me.
Now?
Now.
I didn't think about it could be DLSS with the depth of field.
What are we hunting?
It probably is.
Hunting deer.
Because even when stuff is fully blurred out, there's still that effect.
Which way?
In the direction of deer.
Okay. This way.
All right. God of War looking pretty good.
Father, why are we doing this now?
I need to know you can survive the journey.
Then we leave for the mountain?
Depends on you. Hunt.
Looks pretty good to me.
What did you find?
Tracks. Not deer, though. I'll keep looking.
Alright, we will switch to some MCC just to demo auto HDR. Can I stream HDR without having an HDR monitor? Without an HDR monitor, your game will not be rendering in HDR. So you can technically turn on an HDR stream, but it won't look very good. And it would not serve any good purpose. It would just be extra power for no reason. HDR has always been overwhelming for my eyesight. I prefer to play without that option. Generally, I prefer HDR. Ironically, God of War is one game that I stopped playing pretty early on because of the HDR. Because I was playing it on a TV, sitting back on my couch, and it has all this tiny text where it's just pure white text on a black background, and it was giving me all sorts of eye strain trying to play this in HDR. And so I just stopped playing the game because I got tired of trying to read everything. Like, up close, it's fine. In a capture, it's fine. But sitting back 6 feet on a couch looking up at a big TV, like, ugh.
Oh boy.
All right, we're going to try...
You are hunting deer, not
Camera control is smooth. We are going to try to see how it looks with auto HDR through Master Chief Collection. By the way, if you're wanting to learn any of this with regards to OBS and how to set it up, glitch.mov/OBS, coupon code relaunch to get my definitive guide course, the fastest way to get up and... I don't have MCC installed. Really? I always have it installed. All right, I'm going to start the down... No, we're not going to have time to download it. Damn it. I'm sorry, guys. I always have it on these systems. I don't know why I don't. That's super weird. I guess I decided with Infinite I don't need it. We can do Warframe. That looks pretty good. But yeah, coupon code relaunch. You get 50% off the course. I'm just kind of running the promo off and on as I think about it. Pick up course. Fastest way to get up and running and master OBS from having barely heard of it to doing what I do. 10 chapters, about to be an 11th chapter. What TV? LG CX is what I'm playing on right now. Fake Halo fan. I mean, this is a new test bench. And matchmaking in MCC is pretty bad. Alright, we will play... Okay, yes. Oh. It just asked me about auto HDR. Hold on. I might have to turn it on. Where's the notification windows? Do I really have to turn it on manually? Auto HDR. Is it not on? It's always on, right? Graphics. Where is it even at? HDR. Glitch.mov/OBS. HDR. HDR video streaming. Auto HDR. Oh, it was off. Huh. Okay. Alright, Warframe. We'll play a little bit of this and then I gotta bounce. It is already midnight. I gotta go to bed soon. Can I gift you a game through Steam? If you want. I don't have the time to download it for this stream. So use that context with what you will. Go check out the links in the video description. My stream guide site for news, reviews, written reviews, all that. The forums. Come chat with us in the forums or the Discord. Why does 3090 Ti not support... Wow, that game is loud. Not support AV1? Because it's a hardware encoder and they didn't develop it in time for 30 series. It was only developed for 40 series, so it's just not a feature of that graphics card. Much like how there's not a Blu-ray player in your car, most likely. Just because someone else's car has one does not mean yours is magically going to have it. I guess is to say it's a hardware change from 30 to 40 series. All right, yeah. I don't care about the reward. I just want to put the game in full screen so y'all can see it.
In your codex.
Graphics, full screen. Actually, we'll just do borderless full screen. Sorry, I'm just making sure all the settings are okay. HDR output, yes. Confirm. Oh, it looks glorious. Okay. Yeah, you have a decoder for AV1, but not an encoder. One day I will have a good HDR screen. Main TV is a 2016 Vizio. First gen to support Dolby Vision and HDR. Wow. Honestly, it's impressive that it supports it. I'm sure it doesn't look amazing, but it's like impressive that they added support to it. All right. Warframe, here's my... Whoa, mouse sensitivity. Here's my terrifying character. We'll just do like a quick mission run. Kuva Siphon or something. Oh, Valentine stuff starting again. That's fine. 80 to... Okay, we'll do this one. What kind of mission is this? I don't know. Can I thank you for your efforts and teachings for many years without paying to do so? I mean, I guess you just did. Sure, absolutely. Why is my sensitivity so high again? What? Alright, that'll do. No, it's still too high. What? I'm on the lowest DPI in my... Wow, I have to drag it here. Look sensitivity. We'll do 10. And then 10. And then 10. Confirm. There we go. That's probably fine. Alright, what are we doing, team?
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
If you haven't played Warframe before, it's free to play. You can get thousands of hours out of it. Be prepared to read a lot of wikis or forums. But it is an absolute blast, and you should give it a go. Anyone who misses Warframe now will never get it when you told about it years later.
Is that thing?
The game really grew since launch in terms of content. Absolutely. Destiny 2 vibes, except this game's been out since 2014. It's 10 years old this year. I don't know if it counts because that was the beta. But it's close to 10 years old, if nothing else. Oh, this is a vault crack mission? Ew. How do I get over there? Probably there, duh. Yeah. This is the HDR streaming experience, ladies and gentlemen.
Use your op platform to strike those cougar clouds.
Oh man, they're still doing... Where are they at? There they are.
Do not let them do that again.
I got this. This game looks insane. It is!
Transference, still holding.
Oh. Don't really know what's happening in like the world around me here, but that's okay. There we go.
Siphon! I can't believe how useless you all are. Report for execution at once.
You've destroyed the Queen's Kuba cipher. Don't allow any of these to survive. Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
Destiny and Warframe have been copying each other's homework back and forth for that entire 10 years. Yeah, I mean, the HDR stream is only going to look good if you're in an HDR monitor.
We cannot let enemy command eliminate everyone.
Oh, we gotta go all the way back over there to eliminate people? Really? I'm not even gonna make it. Before the people who know what they're doing wipe them all out. I don't know what this pole in the ground is. Yep. Looking pretty good. I'm content. There's some little quirks, and there's a big issue when you first set up the 10-bit output for HDR, where like on a couple of my computers it was corrupting my settings and I had to start over, which was really annoying. But looking pretty good. Alright, I'm gonna get OLED shopping time now. Do it! Do it! I'm glad the SDR copy looks pretty good. I know they had a lot of issues with the SDR tone mapping for a little while, so I'm glad it's looking better. Alright, that's probably gonna wrap it up. Hello? Yes. Leave. Lobby. Or not. Okay.
You have new quests in your codex.
Alright, appreciate everybody hanging out with me, testing this today. You all rule. Again, that's glitch.mov. Here, I'll pop it in the chat. You know how I do. Glitch.mov/OBS for the course. I will absolutely have an update on the... or a video on the OBS update very soon. Discord... forums, go join the forums, demodisc.zone. And I have a PeerTube instance coming soon with a very sick URL as well. Streamgods.gg if you want to read the guides. Tip link is in the description, all that stuff. I'll see you all in the next one. Remember to be kind, rewind. Oh, yeah. I don't have any of my macros on this portable instance of OBS.